What's up, guys? Sitting here editing this video you're about to watch, and I just wanted to add a little prerequisite to this video. And this video is about expectations, and I think there's something beautiful about how I thought this video was going to turn out, and the fact that it was not what I expected. And so I just wanted you to know beforehand that this is not my best video, and this will not be my best video. But again, relinquishing the expectations is always going to make you stronger at the end. Focus on your systems and relinquish the goal. Be specific about your goals, but relinquish the actual outcome. Okay, that's it. Enjoy the video.
All right. Stuck in Indiana traffic, let's talk about expectations. Expectations can be defined as an idea, a concept, or belief that what somebody else or yourself believe to be the desired outcome, meaning that there's almost a sense of control around it. If you have an expectation about something, that inherently means you believe you can outline or ideate around what's actually going to happen. And if you think that way, are you not limiting what God can do? For example, if I have an expectation around how many donuts I can eat, or if I have an expectation around how many donuts I can eat, and then all of a sudden the guy behind the counter, I'm 20 donuts down, and the guy behind the counter brings out a big glass of milk, I'm going to put down 20 more. But if I had an expectation, I was like, all right, I can only put down, or I can put down 20 donuts. Well, then I'm limiting what God can do, you know? But if instead I was like, I'm just going to eat as many donuts as I can, well, then I'm going to get down to 40 donuts. I think that's a really bad example. I'm gonna think about a better example. Expectations. For example, I've got an expectation that I'm gonna get this certain job or this certain raise, and I'm so focused on this raise or this promotion that I'm limiting what can happen if I would just stick to what I know to be true, which is a man reaps what he sows. So instead of focusing on the outcome, you're looking at the process, but not even the process, but what is going to happen because of what I'm doing. So I'm allowing myself to relinquish the outcome and allowing God to go before me, because he's already gone before me and already set out a path for me. And now I have something better than I could even imagine. Does that make sense? Does it make sense how when you relinquish your will and expectations for your own life, God can work in miraculous ways? Like battles or even the conflicts that you're having with your people could be from the expectations you have on them, and how those expectations are ruining or tarnishing what God has planned or could have planned because you're selfish and you think that you know better. Because at the end of the day, expectations are only there to give you more comfort. Because if you didn't have those expectations and you just worked instead and suffered and took up your cross, you'd get a lot farther. It'd be a lot harder than to just say, oh, where's my outcome? You know, I expected this to happen, so I'll just quit now. I expected this to happen in this time period, so I'll just be done. I'll just move on to something better. It's bullcrap. It's bullcrap. The expectations you should really have is expecting yourself to suffer and to just continuously go through it. And from that stance, that's when you really get to experience the glories that God has set for you. I can only speak from my own personal experience, but it's the times when I do the work and I don't see anything. I don't see success, maybe a little shrivel of success. And then a big boom happens, and I'm just like, that's what God had planned. And it just brings me so much more fulfillment and more joy. I just got home. I'm so locked in. You cannot plan anything. You cannot plan anything better than what God has for you. So why try? Like, if you're a Christian and you're putting expectations out there, or you're believing you're supposed to be this person that somebody in your life told you should be, why? Why? Who are you doing it for? It's not God. And it's honestly not yourself. Because if you knew the actual plans that God had laid for you, then you'd understand why you have to do the work without seeing. Get a little off track. Because if you relinquish that will, then you'd understand, and you'd have a better feeling about the work you're doing. Does that make sense? For me, I have to understand this in the lens of a salesperson, that I'm doing what I think to be God's will where I'm at, and I love just making people feel like somebody's on their side, that somebody in this company that they so much desire to have something, that somebody's working with them and helping them. And I'm not claiming to know all the answers to all the questions they ask, but it's just so much more fulfilling when I'm going out of my way and answering things on weekends and putting in extra hours, because I know it's going to help somebody. And I think if I had this expectation of, oh, I'm going to make $100,000 in a summer, I think I'd be so focused on the outcome of there's not money coming in, I didn't make enough sales today, that I would forget about the actual person that is trying to receive something and receive a blessing and a product from my company. And I think I would be doing that to my own detriment. So I say all this to say, the expectations that you have in your life and the goals you have, they're not bad, but you should be focused on where they're rooted. Are they rooted in underlying lack of confidence or this sense to feel purposeful? Because if those are the goals, achieving them won't help you. It won't help those inadequacies. And actually, it will actually make those worse because you'll achieve them because you're strong, you work hard, and you'll still feel empty. And that's the worst part. It's the really worst part. So, today, I encourage you to relinquish those to God. These expectations around your job, your family, your friends. Relinquish those to God and allow Him to take the reins and watch what glories happen. Work hard. Count your wins. See ya.